Hey everybody, I am Peyton and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my journaling process and how I got into journaling, how I like to go about journaling, things I find useful for journaling, the whole shebang. My journaling process is very all over the place. I like to have one journal. I like to have one place where everything lives until it's filled out. I can't do, like, congratulations to the people that can have like 4 for like different things. I would be too overwhelmed by that. So everything goes in this journal. I like to have a monthly spread, and I got that inspo from when I first started journaling when I was a freshman. And I was watching bullet journal videos, and that's how I got into journaling. I'll show you, like, even in this journal, I have a little, like, I just love to do little monthly spreads, and I'll kind of utilize the theme I decide to do throughout the whole month. You know, whatever colors or whatever. I kind of base it off of colors more so than themes, but it just depends. So every month we set that up. There's a calendar, there's a habit tracker page. I'll write down goals, notes, all of that when the month starts. I use prompts literally all the time. If I ever feel like I need to write, I typically need a prompt, but otherwise I use the stream of conscious writing method, where it's very pedestrian, very like your inner dialogue. So if you're wondering what kind of prompts I like to use, I will link my Pinterest below. I have a whole board with a section for prompts. That's where I go to find my prompts. Sometimes my therapist will give me some, or I'll find some in like mental health books. It just depends, but usually Pinterest is my go-to spot for journaling prompts. So I've had 3 full journals now, and this year, at the beginning of the year, I finally decided that I would splurge on a Electrum journal, and I can't say that it wasn't worth the extra money that I spent on it. However, this is not realistic for me every time I need to get a new journal. I don't have $30 to spend on a new journal every time I want a new journal. And just for reference, I used this one, which is, let me tell you guys the brand. This is a Paper Age dotted journal from Amazon, and I think it's like $11, and there's a million different colors. And honestly, other than the pages being thin, so if you use like alcohol markers or any kind of more prone to bleeding kind of marker or pen, it probably will bleed. That's the only thing, but I really pretty much had no major issues with bleeding. Like, if you look, I did some drawing here with markers, and you can see it kind of when you're flipping, but there's really no real bleeding. This stood the test of time. I had this journal for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, y'all. 8 months I had this journal. That's insane. Actually, no. I had this journal for 10 months, excuse me. And honestly, she went with me many places, and she looks pretty good. I like gridded journals the best. That's been my favorite. However, I've used dotted and lined, and my current one is lined, and I don't mind any of them. I just gridded, I think, has been my favorite so far. This one, although I filled it out like crazy, this is my first ever journal. I was very into like the junk scrapbooking more when I first started this journal, and then you can kind of see where I flipped into like a more realistic daily approach for myself. But yeah, this one totally fell apart. I mean, it's got tons of dings. Obviously broken this because she's a fat one, so she's broken. I tried to tape it a million times. I also like a moleskin. My sketchbook is a moleskin, and I do like it. So typically the way that I journal on a daily basis is I will write down my to-do list, and then I have a chronic illness, so I have to track all my symptoms for my doctor, and I have a section for that in my journal. I will show you guys lightly. I'll try not to, I will have to blur out my writing because I'm not sharing that kind of stuff with y'all, but I'll show you kind of how I set it up. So this is kind of my vibe, as you can tell. So I'll write the date, my to-do list, and then to the right of that, that's where I track my symptoms throughout the day. I don't do that every day, but most days. And then I just will write, and sometimes, you know, I'll write like a whole page. Sometimes I write for pages and pages and pages. Other times I'll write like a sentence, and I really just don't put pressure on myself to journal every day. When I feel the urge to write, I write, and when I'm not feeling like writing, I don't. It took me years to get consistent with journaling because I was just putting so much pressure on myself to journal a certain way, and like that is just not correct. So some days I'll do like creative spreads where I'll do like lists, or let me see if I can show. I made one for my little YouTube because I'm just having too much fun making these videos, y'all. Ooh, so I'll kind of do like that. Sometimes this isn't the theme of my April spread, so that's just what I did, but sometimes I'll do more fun stuff. I was very experimental in this journal because I had it for so long. Like here was like a daily spread, and then like I did a movie night, like totally fun, right? So whatever, you know. I just haven't gotten that creative in this one yet because I just had a rough start to the year. What can I say? I'll do like mind dumps too. I literally will use stationery, and I will specifically use the mind dump to use the stationery. So I really love to scrapbook, but for me, I'm not really like the buy a scrapbook, put photos in kind of girl. I like to do it in my journal. So I love to scrapbook from, you know, big events or sweet days, just memories that I want to put down somewhere. So like for example, I have like, this is the day that I got my car. Like this is so cute, a bunch of little pictures, this cute sticker, and like I wrote down a bunch of little notes, totally sweet and cute. And like last year whenever the eclipse happened, I made a whole spread because me and my boyfriend went to this event at App State, and it was really fun, and we got like the glasses and I glued them in here, and I took this sweet photo of him, and I had like all these moon stickers. Totally had to use them. What do you mean? So cute. Like this one is from my boyfriend's concert with his band, and they like made stickers, so I put this one in here. And then we took a ton of pictures, and then the morning after we like got breakfast, so I put like a couple pictures from that, and like this is me and my best friend AJ, and then that's me and my boyfriend, like whatever, totally cute. So that's kind of how I like to go about scrapbooking in my journal. I collect things like basically all month, like things from the events that I want to scrapbook, and I'll just save 2 blank pages, write down the date and the event or whatever memory it was. And then at the end of the month, I come back to all those pages and I go to Walgreens and I get my photos printed out there. I usually use a collage app and just like put them all together so I can cut them and make them smaller and like varying sizes. But obviously, like if you own a printer, just like use your printer. But it is really, really cheap to go to Walgreens. It's like a few cents per photo, and like usually I only have to get like 5 or 6 4x6 prints. So I also use this like a planner. So I do have like a weekly spread every week. That kind of, it looks like this. I found this inspiration. Someone had this layout on Pinterest, and I probably could not find it to save the life of me because I've been using this layout for my weekly layout for like over a year now. So I don't know who came up with this layout, but it just works for me. So over here there's like the weekly events, so it's kind of just like the week at a glance, and I'll write down the things that I have to do. Slow week, chronic illness core, and then I have a little bit more laid out information and stuff of like, I'll write down the things that I want to do, and then like up here next to the numbers, I like to write down the things that are like appointments or things that I have to do, work, whatever. I don't work right now, but when I did work, that's what I did. I've just been on sabbatical, chronic illness core. Like look, this is when I went to my first ever freaking concert. It was Tool. Yeah, my first concert was Tool. How badass is that? That's literally fucking badass. Like that's so fun, and I have like that concert was literally life-changing for me. Like, oh, what? That is so cool. I do not remember making this. It's so cute. Oh. I'm dead. That is adorable. See, and then also you get to have that reaction when you flip through your journals, when you keep them all in one place. I know a lot of people are kind of like, once the journal is complete, they put it away and they never think to look at it again or read through it again. But I'm a very nostalgic person, and I also struggle with emotional impermanence, so it's kind of helpful for me to go back and read through these things, because I'm like, oh yeah, I've been sad before. This is my first journal. This one I had from 9/29/23 to 3/30/24. This one, I don't think I have dates on this one. Let's see. Started this on March 30th, 2024. I love, are you kidding? I ate this down. I love the opening pages for my second journal. I really did a cute job with these. So cute. Holy cow. This year when I started my journal, I did a dream board in my journal. So this is my opening for my journal this year. A little bit more minimalist than last year, but this is my mood board for the year. I want to be hiking more. Obviously, I made this before I started getting really sick, but hopefully I'll still be able to do some of it. This is just kind of like such a fun, good activity for me as someone that struggles with pain and fatigue. So I shop on Stationery Pal mostly for all my stationery stuff. I do not know if that is controversial or not, but that's where I get all of my journaling stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any journaling questions for me, I would love to offer some advice and some guidance as someone who has managed to work journaling into their everyday routine and finds it productive and fun. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed watching me journal and talk about my process a little bit. I have a lot of inspiration on better ways I can go about journaling videos, so I'm inspired and I want to make some more journaling content and like some journal with me's, because I do pretty big spreads lately because I'm kind of bedridden, so something like this is nice and fun and creative for me. And don't forget to check out my Pinterest. I have a whole board with journaling inspiration and a whole section in that board for prompts specifically. So thank you guys for watching. My name is Peyton again. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.